The devil was after me. I could see him, his face, but there was no forked tail or horn or nothing like that. But he was just all over me. He was just after me, and he wasn't going to let me go.
And the people that I seen there, they were small people. I called them midgets. The women. And the men, they were big, huge fellers, giants like, big guys. And they were standing around with their arms folded.
I don't think, I definitely know there's a life after death. Definitely know. I'm a firm believer.
Suppose what these patients say is true. Suppose eternity exists as the Bible says it is, and these patients say they enter it in this next world. Now science says eternity exists.
Heart specialist Dr. Maurice Rawlings has been working with patients like Harry Woods, Robert Smith, and Charles McKeag for the last 20 years. Patients who have died, their hearts have stopped beating, and who have been brought back to life by medical means. Some patients don't remember anything, but many claim to have been in heaven, hell, or both. After hearing hundreds of stories, Dr. Rawlings found that more than half of these experiences took place not in a pleasant, light-filled heaven, but in a dark and terrible hell.
As soon as I recognized there were bad ones, I knew there was something we were missing. And then I started collecting cases, and sure enough, they have the things that would differentiate them from hallucinations. I knew there was something real.
Years of gathering case histories resulted in Beyond Death's Door, a bestseller that was recently made into a motion picture. 2 more books have followed, Before Death Comes and Life Wish. All deal with after-death experiences, and Dr. Rawlings is convinced that they are real, not dreams or hallucinations.
It changes life. It's a life changer. This is the most impressive thing to me. You don't change a life over something that could have been a fantasy. Whether it's good or whether it's bad, the experience is a life changer.
I've had dreams all my life, and I've had all kind of sleeping, but I've never had anything change my life. I've never had a dream to change my life and felt a change.
Harry Woods had a heart attack at a football game, and later in the hospital, his heart stopped again for 19 minutes. While he was dead, he had an after-death experience. He was, he believes, in hell.
I was down inside the earth, in a pit type of place. But there was no color to anything. Everything was a dull gray. And there were spirits there. You couldn't see the body. You couldn't see their face, but yet you could see the expressions on their faces. And these people were in such agony, and I don't know what was wrong. I mean, they were just snarling their teeth, and they didn't have time to help nobody. And I was hollering for help, and nobody would take time to help me.
Then the devil confronted Harry Woods.
It wasn't big, it was small. It was small, wasn't any larger than I am, wasn't as big as I was. But it had the awfulest expression and the snarl on his face, just like, oh, I've got you, boy, there's no way you're going to get away from me. I'm not going to let you go.
By now, Harry was scared, and he called on Jesus for help. Instantly, he was out of the pit and away from the devil. The experience changed his life. Now he's a regular churchgoer and has told his story in newspapers, magazines, and on the radio and TV in hopes of helping others avoid his fate.
And I have never told anyone about it that stopped me and said, I don't want to hear it. Not that first one. They've everyone listened all the way through, and when they got through, they just sit there and shake their head. They believe it.
Charles McKeag, a rural postman, was taking a stress test in Dr. Rawlings' office when disaster struck. His heart just stopped beating, but he was revived. This happened several times.
And I started begging him that I had been in hell, that I needed some help to help me some way, if he could.
Although he's blocked out the hell experience, he does remember a heaven experience that occurred right after he prayed to be saved.
My mother passed away when I was about 15 months old. My father remarried, and my stepmother passed away in 1960. I saw both of them. I had never seen a picture of my mother, to my knowledge. I have seen a picture since, and I picked a picture out. I recognized her. My stepmother looked just like she did the day last time I saw her before she got sick. And a very beautiful woman, both of them. And they looked just like they would today.
Robert Smith was in the hospital for a heart operation when he died, and his hell experience was terrifying. He was tied to a chair in a dark room and surrounded by evil beings.
At the end of this big room, there was a big sliding door, a big metal door. And I'd have seen them when they would open this door, they would take people through there. It was a big lake of fire, just like looking out over the ocean. That's the way that fire looked. It's completely changed my life. I don't drink, I don't cuss, I don't run around. I've just throwed the world down as I'm trying my best to live a good, honest Christian life.
These three men and all the other patients who Dr. Rawlings talked with agree that after-death experiences are real, and their lives and beliefs have changed as a result of them.
I can assure you these are hell and these are heaven. And I'll tell you, lady, that hell is not worth it. It's not worth it.
But it sure wasn't a dream, and it wasn't an illusion either. I mean, it was real. It was just as real as anything's ever been. And I still can't figure why it happened to me, but it did.
It leaves you a firm believer that there are life after death, that there are somewhere else you're going, that this is not the end.